Hi everybody. Today I'm going to talk about a sewing project that I am working on and talk about one of my favorite patterns to use. This pattern is Butterick B5193 by Connie Crawford, and it comes to a 1 to 6X. This pattern is out of print, meaning you can't find it in a fabric store or a craft store that sells patterns, but it's still available online. I don't know if you've ever used Connie Crawford patterns if you sew, but Connie Crawford drafts amazing patterns for plus sizes, especially if you're on the larger end of the plus size spectrum, like the 4, 5, and 6X. I've been using her patterns to sew with for probably close to 20 years. Because at the time they were the only patterns I could find in my size. At the time I wore a 6X and larger, more like a 7, 8X, but it was the only place I could find a good pattern that fits. And if you can see her size chart, the 6X, that's a 42, 44W, and that is up to 68, 58, 76. So that is very large. And when I first started using the Butterick line, Connie started designing patterns for Butterick, I was wearing the 6X. So this pattern is cut in a 6X. I also just recently ordered from a out-of-print pattern reseller on the internet. I ordered another copy of this pattern so that I could cut it in a 4X, my current size. The price, $16.95. Which you never pay full price for patterns in a fabric store. I still was able to find the out-of-print one for $10. So it's still out there, and if you go to Connie Crawford's Fashion Patterns by Connie, I believe, .com, you can get this pattern directly from her website. And the reason why I like this pattern a lot, Connie's patterns, like I said, are very well drafted for plus-size bodies. And a lot of sewing patterns I've noticed just don't fit plus size bodies very well. The armholes are just out of proportion, the hips are out, everything is out of proportion and just doesn't quite, it's just a sized up size 8. And it just doesn't take into account that our body's proportions change as our size goes up. But when Connie Crawford does the pattern design, she takes that into account, and they really work for big bodies. This particular pattern, I wanted just something easy, pullover, a basic silhouette, but that had some body shape to it. I guess, a larger apple, maybe. When I'm smaller, I'm an hourglass. When I get bigger, I'm an apple. So, I'm kind of like a hybrid between an hourglass and an apple shape. I have a big belly, I have a big chest, my waist is a little smaller, I have very proportionally small legs and arms. So I like to wear things that have a little bit of shape in the torso, and I also I've found that wearing things that flare below the waist tends to give me a little more proportionate shape. And so I always look for things that have flared skirts and wide skirts. And one thing I like to wear is leggings and tunics, and I wear my tunics right above or right at knee length. And if I really want to, I can just not wear the leggings and wear them as a short dress, but I like to wear that kind of long tunic over a tight legging or tights. And this one, View B, I thought, okay, that looks like something I can work with. And I haven't made the pattern exactly as shown. When I make the pattern for myself, and I have made it many times, I don't have anything right now to show, and I wish I did, but everything I've made so far is a bit big, so I donated it. But I do this dress, and it is, how long is this dress? And the 6X is 47 inches, so I cut it a little bit short. I took several inches, I think I did it 40 inches. So I took 6 or 7 inches off the hem so it would come right around knee length on me. And I didn't gather the little front edge, and I didn't put the little placket in. What I did when I cut out I did cut the pattern exactly as, but when I went to pin it and cut it out on the fabric, I just took chalk and a ruler and a curve, and I just kind of brought the neckline up a little bit so that it was just a regular neckline. So I didn't have to do this. Not there's anything wrong with that. I just didn't want to do it. And this works really well. And it says, I don't know that it says you can use it with knits, but I've used it with knits and, yeah, it says woven or knits, lightweight. And it says it needs a zipper, but I've never used a zipper. To me, this is a pull on and pull off. Another thing I like about it, you can make the sleeves as long as you want. Just, draft add extra length onto the sleeves. I've made long sleeve before. What I cut out, and I'm going to show what I cut out, something I really liked doing was transforming this into a peasant look. And the way I did that, I made the neckline a tiny bit wider, and I made it not quite as deep, about halfway between. And when I did the front seam, I made a channel to run a drawstring through the neckline and had a little bit of a keyhole right below the neckline to tie it in a bow. And when I cut the sleeves out, I cut them slightly longer but much wider. I just split the pattern down the middle, laid it out on the fabric, used a ruler to kind of curve the top, and added probably 6 inches width to the sleeve so that I have a little puffy kind of peasant sleeve with a elastic or a drawstring. So that worked out really well, and I like that it's got the fitting. It kind of, that's the word I want to use, kind of cups under the bust in the front. So while it is flared and it is easy fit, it does conform to the body, and it does give you a bit of figure shaping, which I think is really, really a good thing for plus size patterns, because so many plus size clothes are just not shaped, and this one is really good to shape. It's also shaped in the back. It kind of dips in at your waist in the back, or the small of your waist in the back, so this is very well fitted to the body, and it's very easy to fit it custom to your own unique body shape. One thing I did when I got this pattern was I made a muslin of it. I just got the cheap muslin fabric, and I cut out, sewed it, put it on wrong side out, pinned it, made little notes, restitched it, got it to where it fit me absolutely perfectly, picked it apart with a seam ripper, took a Sharpie marker, wrote notes on it, and that became my pattern for all of the things that I made. And that was my jumping off point. And I did different sleeves. I did a long sleeve, a puff sleeve, a short sleeve, and that was my permanent pattern for this, and I'm going to be doing that again with the smaller size. But to go on to show, this is one that I cut out for this is still a 6X that I cut out, so when I put this together, I'm going to have to fit it to myself somehow, but I'm not going to just get rid of it, because I don't know if you can see, it's just really neat cotton eyelet fabric that I had ordered off the internet. And cotton eyelet isn't cheap. And I ended up dyeing this fabric because I wanted a very specific kind of dusty lavender color. And so I ended up getting the fiber reactive dyes for cotton, and ended up doing a custom dye job on this. And you can see there's a little fleck there from over dyeing, but that's going to get caught up. So yeah, this is going to be a peasant, like a mini dress or a long tunic for summer, and I like the eyelet. All you have to do is wear a tank top under it, or hell, even I'll wear a flesh tone bra under it, and nobody is ever, oh my gosh, she's wearing something with holes in it, but people don't care. In summertime, it gets so hot and humid that I like cotton eyelet. And I like breezy cotton eyelet clothes because it's little air conditioning holes all in the fabric. And So this is going to be a peasant type top, and the selvage of the fabric, the selvage edge and eyelet is plain. There's no holes in it for about an inch in on either side. Well, I just took that after I dyed everything and just ripped a long strip of it off, and I'm going to turn that into my drawstring. That way I have I have a perfect match to it. So this is what I'm going to be working on next, and I'm hoping I can get this thing assembled and fitted, and I can show you how it fits, and the customization I did from the pattern to the finished project. But after I'm done with that, I have some fabric to do the same pattern in my current size. Once I make a muslin and get it fitted good, I splurged on some fabric at Joann's when I had a good coupon and there was a sale going on. And this is actually a cotton linen blend, and it is a very lightweight. I'm going to see if I can pick up one layer of it to show you. But it is very, very lightweight. And I'm debating on if I want to even use this pattern. I want to make a peasant blouse. The colors on the pattern are just so perfect for, you know, spring and summer. They're kind of muted. It's kind of a muted floral, and I love these muted, kind of grayed down, kind of dusty colors. And this has a peach and a blue and kind of almost an olive or mustardy color, and then there's this is actually a very dark blue. This is the color of new denim jeans, and I figured, well, I can wear this with my dark denim jeans. I can wear this with faded denim jeans. I can wear this with brown. I have some khaki jeans, and yeah, this is going to be my next project after that. It's going to be a peasant blouse of some sort out of this really neat, I think it is 60% linen, 40% cotton. And it is, and I've washed it. I washed it twice, and with linen, to me, if you kind of, you know, abuse it a little bit, I think it gets soft, a lot more softer and a lot more drapey and fluid. And what I did was I had to do a couple loads of blue jeans, and I just threw this cut of fabric in when I did the blue jeans and ran it through the washer, ran it through the dryer twice. And I think it's got the perfect texture now. And it's going to be perfect for a peasant blouse. It's got that kind of peasanty look to it. So those are my upcoming sewing projects. Now, something I'm going to be doing with this, because it was a custom dyed color, I had such a hard time finding thread to match. And it wasn't a problem for normal spools. For when I do, you know, I like to serge things that are going to get a lot of wear and a lot of washing, and things that I wear in the summer, especially cotton clothes that I wear in the summer, I have to wash them well, and I have to wash them in a washing machine, and I can't dry clean them or home dry clean or really even hand wash them in a basin, because it just doesn't get them clean enough, in my opinion. So I'm going to try this. Somebody told me I couldn't find serger thread anywhere near this color. This is the closest thing I was able to find, and it's not even the right lavender, but I got big spools of the thread to use in my serger, and I've got thread that perfectly matches this to do the hem and the outside work, but that kind of blends in, but it's not exactly where I need it to be. But there's the end. It's slightly dark, but I think if I have to, I can use this to do the hem. But I think I have the exact color for the hem. I just don't have it with this. So I'm going to actually try to serge with these, because really all I have to do is serge around everything, and then I can, you know, as I assemble it. And I'm thinking this is going to be enough. The woman at the fabric store said, oh yeah, you can just use the little cone, I don't know what the word is, the little discs that can go over short cones, and the nets But she said, oh yes, the sergers would work on the serger for a small project. And so that's something new that I'm going to be doing with this shirt. And I will do a little update once I get into this project, so you guys can see how I am coming along. I really am looking forward to wearing this. If it turns out remotely good fit-wise, I've got a pair of jeans that have lavender embroidery on them, and this I think would be perfect for it. And I've been really wanting to wear those jeans, and I don't really have anything to wear with it, so I'm hoping I'll be killing two birds with one stone. Get this thing I cut out. I actually cut this out, I want to say 2 years ago, maybe 3 summers ago. Folded it up, put it in the back of my sewing closet, and then proceeded to cover it with things, and I didn't even realize it was there until I found it when I cleaned out my sewing closet, and I was doing a big fabric purge. Because you know how fabric, if you have that one piece of fabric, you gotta have 2, and you can't come home from the store without fabric. So I was doing a big fabric purge at the end of the year and found this folded up in the back and thought, wow, I remember cutting that out, but I just never sewed it. So that's what it's gonna be. This is the pattern I'm starting with, but it is not going to look like that. So I'll show you guys how it comes out and how you can take a basic pattern that I guess the person that taught me how to sew said it has good lines. If it has good lines and good fit, you can kind of tweak the sleeves, tweak the neckline, tweak the length, and pretty much do what you want to make it exactly what you want. So we will see how this project turns out.